Story that impacts every taxpayer in our community. The ABC 15 political team monitoring the very latest from the state capitol throughout the weekend as lawmakers finally agree on a budget for the next fiscal year.
Dollars and cents. State lawmakers pass a plan to balance the budget, but some question whether their plan is even legal.
Specifically using tens of millions of dollars from opioid settlement funds. Rachel Louise Just with our ABC 15 political team dives into this deal.
In a $16.1 billion budget passed over the weekend in Arizona's legislature, it's a relatively tiny amount of money that's a key division between lawmakers.
I came here to serve my constituents, not to break the law. And we just broke the law by passing this budget.
That's the crux of the political divide as lawmakers work to pass a budget with a deficit of $1.4 billion. To make up for that shortage of cash, Republican leaders and Democratic Governor Katie Hobbs came up with a plan, dipping into the state's opioid settlement funds. The millions of dollars they transferred from that fund would go to the state's Department of Corrections.
This isn't your typical budgeting situation where the legislature gets to choose how money is raised and how it's spent. Very unique.
Arizona got the money from settlements from a lawsuit against pharmaceutical companies as the opioid crisis affected thousands across the state. Attorney General Chris Mays says the settlement dollars can only be used for specific purposes, including treating opioid use disorder and, quote, addressing the need of criminal justice involved persons.
I'm concerned about the legality and the prudence of using the opioid funds the way they're being used.
It's unclear if Mays will sue lawmakers over the use of that money. Her office said Monday she's evaluating legal options, but she does say it is illegal. Mays says this potential misuse of settlement funds could put the entire $1.14 billion in the opioid settlement fund at risk. Former federal prosecutor Neama Rahmani saying his understanding is that if the money is misused, it would be illegal and it would risk the entire fund.
Some of those funds can be used for the prisons, but certainly not most or all of them.
But other legal sources have said the legislature can use the money in this way. The House outlined its intent in a formal document, specifically directing the Department of Corrections to use that money on things like opioid use disorder and treatment.
I cannot accept a last-minute sleight of hand tactic to strip $75 million from ADC's current allocation with just 2 weeks left in this fiscal year.
The budget was passed on Saturday, even as some Democratic leaders and members voted against it, saying that they were worried about that opioid money. For ABC 15's political team, I'm Rachel Louise Just.